What's going on, DJBooth.net? This is DJ Blaze, aka Kareem Julian, and I'm coming at you guys to give you a quick rundown review video of the new Denon SC3900 multimedia player. Okay folks, so here it is. This is the successor to the Denon DNS3700 multimedia player, and this is the new SC3900 edition. And basically I owned the DNS3700s for about 2.5 years, and I eventually sold them in order to get back to my original vinyl roots. But if I didn't do that, this is most likely the deck that I would have chose as a successor or my replacement for the 3700. Reason being, they have a lot of similar attributes, but this is definitely a new deck, thick and through, from the ground up. Definitely a lot different than the 3700. I mean, when you look at it, and even when people tell you in the reviews, you think just by the look, if you're a 3700 owner, that it's still going to be very similar to the 3700, but you would be very mistaken. The SC3900 is basically a new unit all around. The only thing it basically shares is the outer look, the casing. The look of the record and platter may look similar, but it's entirely different to the feel even. And the slot, CD slot in the front, is probably similar, and some of the button quality and the knobs are basically the same as well. You have almost the same exact screen here, so you do have some of the same things to make you think that this is actually close to being the same player, but they're very different, and we're going to go into the review and we're going to explain to you why they are different and what's different about it, what's better, and what they changed. So first and foremost, the SC3900 is very versatile machine. You can play from CD. You have your CD slot in the front. You can play from your USB. There is a USB drive slot in the top left hand corner right here. And there's a link mode where you can link multiple SC3900s or SC2900s together. You do that via the RJ45 connection on the back. And then you also have a MIDI mode, which has a hybrid mode where you can use this either as just a MIDI controller where you can map every single function, or you can use it in hybrid mode where that way you can use this with Serato and with Traktor time code control. It has a native time code built in, so you don't need to put a time code CD inside in order to manipulate your tracks via this vinyl record here on top. So first impressions, overall impressions, the outer casing of the unit is mostly plastic, and if I'm really trying to nitpick and I'm looking to find any type of gripe, that might be one of them. You know, it's a plastic unit, but almost all 99% of CDJs out there on the market are a plastic material, but it's just worthy of note because if you're going to use these on the road, you're going to want to buy some cases for them just to protect them all the way around. Next up, you have some nice buttons here. They're different feel depending on what they're used for. Most of the buttons are a rubberized type tactical feel to them. One of the other changes on the SC3900 as opposed to the 3700 is these buttons here. These used to be really soft and pliable, but now they're hard, they're solid, they feel way more tactile, and they're a welcomed improvement overall. You have a play, pause, and your cue button, and when you're hitting your cue, you want it to be sure-footed and accurate every time. Even if you hit the corner of this button, you want it to act because of the importance of those buttons. So your other buttons, like your hot cues, they're a little bit softer. They have a soft feel, and they are white with illumination. That's your cue section there. And most of the other ones do have that rubberized feel to them, but again, for tactile purposes, you have your hard cue and play pause button. Okay, after we go through the actual build quality, next up we'll talk about the setup. The setup of the unit is as easy or as hard as you want to make it. If you want to set it up just to play your CDs USB, then you just throw your CD in the front slot, or your USB stick in the top here, or your USB hard drive, thumb drive, whatever you want to use. Any mass media device will work. And you're ready to go. You're ready to play. As soon as you go into where your songs are located, you use your knobs here in order to go back or forward within your file system. and you'll easily be able to bring up your music. Another way that you can control the setup is through your link mode, where you can link to various other 3900s and you can link to their library. That way you'll be controlling their library, whether it be on USB, thumb drive, or hard drive. And you have a MIDI option where you can plug this into your computer using the USB connection on the back of the unit. And you can use a normal MIDI mode where you can map all of your buttons, or you can use this in the hybrid mode where you're releasing time code to Serato or to Traktor or to DJ software DVS of your choice. Next up, along with setup, there is the new software that everybody's talking about. It's the new Denon DJ engine software, and you can use that software to create hot lists, crates, playlists, folders, and to basically just manage your entire music library and to convert everything over to a USB drive. That way you have all of everything you need onto your USB drive built within the engine software. And this is good for DJs who really don't want to use a computer screen. You know, a lot of DJs love using the computer screen, and some DJs just don't want to, and they rather have everything on board and ready to go. And the Denon engine software makes it very easy for those users to accomplish this. You can also use the engine software with the iPad with the engine user interface, and you'll be able to load all of your playlists and navigate through all of your music and select files to load on different decks. And it will actually communicate with your system through the wireless router that you have set up on your home network. As long as you can plug your SC3900s or 2900s into that router, you'll be on the same network as your iPad, and you'll be ready to go and to actually do a lot of things within your gig on that iPad. You can also set up your next available tracks. You can put tracks from one deck into another. You can do all your loading right there. Very intuitive, very nice to have. Make you want to get an iPad if you got two 3900s, because it's just an excellent setup and how you can play your system. Okay, so now we're going to look at the input and outputs and all the other options on the rear of the unit. Here we have a Kensington lock. That way you can lock it down using a Kensington lock. There's a power on off push button, very sturdy button, nice toggle button here. AC in, it's the small type of connector. You don't have a big power pack or anything like that. That's done internally, so all you have is your small 2-prong cable to plug in. Next up, you have your link. This is where you will use to link between another SC3900 or 2900, or you can plug this into your router, any type of Ethernet router, along with your other devices and your other SC3900s in order to link them together. That way they can network and they can share their library via USB files. Next, we have the fader start mini adapter along with the digital output and an RCA left and right line output. And there is the USB port for your PC or MIDI connection here. If you go on to the front, the top of the unit, you'll notice one of the big differences between the SC3700 of a few years ago and the 3900 is the new USB drive slot is here at the top left corner instead of being behind or in back of the unit. You know, a lot of people complained about that because it was harder to get it inside of your cases and to change out that USB drive. But here it's right on the top, and it's very easy to change, put a new one in, or actually store it while you have your device in the case. Next up, one of the similarities of the 3900, 3700 is the actual CD slot, which is located down here on the front of the unit. So after we showed you all the input and output options on the back, next up we're going to look at the differences between the 3700 3900 a little bit further. The effects section, the 3700 had a whole effects section with different effects that you were able to use, but the 3900 loses all the effects, and it makes for a nice, cleaner layout. And you know, it allows the DJ to use the software of their choice or their mixer in order to provide them with that same effect functions that they need. Usually that's where most DJs get their effects from nowadays anyway. So it's not really a missed feature, but it cleaned up the layout a bit, and it allowed them to place other controls that are a little bit more important. The 3700 also had 3 hot cue buttons. Here it's improved to 4 hot cue buttons, and if you hit MIDI bank 2, it turns into 5, 6, 7, 8. So you actually have 8 hot cue buttons total there, and that's a big improvement, especially for people who are going to use this in hybrid mode or in MIDI mode, because you just want access to as many cue points as possible. Also nice for your CD and for your USB as well. You also have a better and cleaner file navigation system here. When you're using your shift button, you can go to your hot list, your crates, your playlist, your folders. A little bit better here on this system than it was on the 3900. It's a lot faster. With the engine software, it's a lot faster to go through everything. And when you're actually loading and going through your different options, say if you want to use USB or you want to use CD, you can use a combination of both without having to reset your player. When the 3900 switched between different modes, it was almost like the whole system had to go through a hard reset. On the 3900, it's very clean and very fast, and you don't have to go through that hard reset. Very easy to do. Other improvements and changes from the 3900 to the 3700, we now have the inclusion of your start and stop time adjustment knobs. This way you can control the speed at which the platter starts and stops, and they're both individually adjustable. The other system, the 3700, did not have this feature. And might as well talk about the platter now, since we're talking about the start and stop. The biggest improvement in my eyes is the actual platter assembly. Everything just feels so much better. I didn't think that they could improve so much on the 3700 because that was a great player and a great platter and motor as well. But this definitely does improve on it. It has a real true brushless motor. The whole platter system is even heavier to the touch. Like, you just have more weight there, and it feels more close to a real vinyl turntable. The strength of the motor is definitely a big improvement over the 3700. While the actual platter is in motion, it's a lot harder for you to stop with your finger. It's very strong. One of the best, if not the best, in a mini style CDJ configuration. This is a 9-inch platter, so you're getting a lot of space here to, a lot of space to operate, but still it's in a smaller form factor than a turntable, so a little bit easier on you for the mobile DJ application. And it's just a nice, easy to use setup. The platter is also better in the fact that there is barely any sticker drift at all. You can do all your scratches and everything you need to do right here on the device, and you won't notice where that when you let go of your finger on the record that it jumps to someplace different. It's always exactly where it needs to be. Same thing when using it in timecode mode, when using it with USB, or when using it with CD. You have perfect scratch response. It's very nice, and it just works exactly as all the other videos and all the other demos have showed. Okay, just moving right along, we'll just run down some of the features found on the unit. It's a good feature set. Again, you can use CD, USB, link, MIDI. You have your 4 that turns to 8 hot cue buttons. You have your A and B loop and your auto loop button, your exit, and your grow and shrink the loop. You also have track search through your track into the next tracks. Reverse button for reverse of platter. Your hardened cue play pause buttons. BPM sync and master button here. You have your tap to get the BPM just right. Pitch bend buttons. You have a pitch slider here. Feels kind of plasticky. And there is a center click here. It's worth noting out to some of you guys who don't like to have the center click. There is a center click here. I still was able to ride the pitches, nicely, but this will again be another minor gripe because, some DJs don't like that. There's a vinyl button here. That way you can change the actual control, whether you're going to use vinyl control or not. Next up, we have your navigation controls here. You have a big oversized knob. This is similar to what's found on the 3700. You have a back and forward button here, and all these buttons have a different usage when you press shift or when you're in a different mode. You press shift to go to your hot list, your crates. your playlists and your folders. Your disc eject is up top, and your power button is on the back. So in conclusion, the Denon DJ SC3900 is my personal favorite CD or multimedia style deck to date. There's great improvements over the last model, the 3700, and there's a lot more versatility than ever before. You can play CDs, USBs, link them together. You can use it in MIDI hybrid mode, regular MIDI mode, and it's just a whole lot you can do. You can link up to 4 of these together, these or SC3900s, and you can share music all off a single USB drive, and you can also communicate with your engine software with iPad. There's also excellent high torque direct drive brushless motor. Really feels true to real high torque vinyl turntables. And you have easy to use navigation controls. You have your 4 or 8 hot cue buttons, your loops, and you also have your start and stop adjustment time on your platter as well. The only minor gripes that I can find with the unit, again, is the center click on the pitch slider and the fact that the unit is made of plastic, but those are minor gripes. That's just if you're trying to nitpick, but they're just worth mentioning. Other than that, it's just a great deck all around. Everything was done very nicely. Denon really did their homework on this one, and we're just going to recommend this to, you know, any professional player who's out there that, you know, needs to get a versatile deck and wants to either add this to their system, or a mobile DJ that uses CDs, USBs, and they have a whole lot of different ways that they like to play music. This is perfect for them. It's just a good controller and a good deck all around. Everything works as advertised, and we just can't give enough praise to the SC3900 and what it can do. So you want to add one of these to your setup, you can go check out ProAudiostar.com. Those are our DJ equipment sponsors. They have these ready there right now. Call them up, you get the best price available. And for more on the full written review, you can go over to www.djbooth.net/DJS. You can also follow me on Twitter for all your DJ equipment news. You get it there first. It's at DJBlaze_DJBooth. And you can also keep subscribing to the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/RealDJBlaze. Thanks for watching.